Previously on Left Behind.
Hey, Buck. Eric Miller, Seaboard Monthly.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Come in, Buck. That is what they call you, is it not?
Yes.
Tell me about why the authorities desire your arrest.
Now, from my study, I believe soon we're going to see 144,000 Jews come to Christ.
No one knows the identity of these two men who refer to each other as Eli and Moshe.
Are you telling me you'll become Secretary General of the UN?
I would never seek such a position.
Funny you should mention Eric. His body washed up on Staten Island. Eric Miller's dead.
Based on the best-selling novel, Tyndale House Publishers proudly presents Episode 9 of the dramatic audio edition of Left Behind.
So what do you think, Buck? Your new office?
Steve, I don't want your job. And we can't afford to lose you. You're the only sane person here.
Including you?
Especially including me. You really think I ought to take it, don't you?
Done deal, as I see it, kid.
Steve, this job isn't me.
Now look at it this way, Buck. If you don't take it, spin the wheel as to who you're working for next week. Now, anyone on staff you want to report to?
Yeah. You're wearing his shoes.
Too late. I'm going tomorrow.
I can't believe you'd give all this up to become press secretary, even if it is Nikolai Carpathia.
Do you know what's in store for this guy? There's a sea of power and money behind Carpathia.
Listen to yourself. You're supposed to be a journalist.
I wouldn't feel this way about anybody else. No U.S. president could push my buttons like this.
You think he'll be bigger than that?
The world is ready for Nikolai. If you ask me, Romania, even Europe is too small for him. The UN is too small for him.
Steve, you may want to hit your TV, or whoever's TV it is now.
You know, I'm gonna miss Marge's impeccable timing.
I heard that.
Wailing Wall. Violence again has marred this historic site. Earlier in the day, a heckler got close enough to ask why they had not
What's
disappeared.
going on over
The
there,
one called
Buck?
Moshe answered,
Stuff no one's
and
willing
I
to
quote,
explain.
"Where we come from and where
Listen,
we
I gotta
go,
get to
we
JFK.
cannot know."
Meeting
His
somebody.
That
companion
girl.
Eli
What was her name?
followed
Hattie.
father's
We met
house
the night of the
for
disappearances.
Well, just
What
moments
about the
ago,
job?
preachers were
You gonna
attacked
talk with
by
Bailey?
two men
Well,
in their
I got 24
mid-20s.
hours.
Don't use
Now
them
watch
all.
the tape as our stationary camera
Hey,
catches
look at
the
this.
action. You can see the two prophets on your right, the two attackers on your left. As they emerge from the crowd, they produce weapons right there. The one at the top of your screen has an Uzi automatic weapon, and the other a bayonet-type knife that appears to have come from an Israeli-issued military rifle. Now watch the one wielding the knife. He surges forward first, right there, displaying his weapon to Moshe, who's been speaking. Moshe stops and merely looks at the man, who appears to trip. He falls to the ground as the man with the Uzi points the weapon at the preachers and appears to pull the trigger. There's no sound of gunfire as the Uzi apparently jams, and the attacker seems to trip over his partner, and both wind up on the ground. All right, we're back to a live shot now, and as you can see, at this point, the crowd begins to back away. As we speak, both attackers lie at the feet of the preachers, who continue to preach. They may be trying to get help for the injured men. I can see Israeli soldiers now at the entrance to the wall. No one wants to get too close.
You who aid the fallen are not in danger unless you come against the anointed ones of the
One
Most
soldier has
High.
crept toward the attackers. He is rolling them on their backs. This does not look good. Police and military personnel have stayed as far away as possible, but it appears the crowd wants them to enter, pressing for the arrest of the two preachers. Now, from what I saw, neither attacked nor defended themselves against the men now being carried away.
You're dead, but do not come nigh to us, says the Lord God of hosts.
We'll continue to monitor this situation. From the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, I'm Dan Bennett for CNN.
Jesus of Nazareth, born in Bethlehem, King of the Jews, the chosen one, ruler of all nations.
What time is it?
We have another 2 hours.
Dad, I don't think she's gonna show.
Why not?
Because if I were her, I'd know what you have in mind. You're gonna tell her you don't have feelings for her, but now you care about her soul.
You make it sound so cheap.
Why should caring about her soul mean anything to her when she thinks you used to be interested in her as a person?
That's just it, Chloe. I wasn't ever interested in her as a person.
She doesn't know that. She was available, and you shouldn't have been. But you were giving signals like you were. I think Hattie's hurt, probably mad.
She was mad, all right.
Then what makes you think she's going to be open to your heaven pitch?
It's not a pitch.
Dad, you can't expect her to give a rip about heaven or God. She's not even a church person. I'm having trouble dealing with it, and I know it's become the most important thing in your life. You can't assume she has any interest, especially if it's some sort of consolation prize.
For
losing your attention?
But my attention is purer now, more genuine.
To you, maybe.
So what if she does show up? Should I not talk to her about it?
I don't know. If she shows, that might mean she's still hoping there's a chance with you. Is there?
No.
Then you owe it to her to make that clear. But don't try to sell her.
Stop talking about my faith like something I'm trying to sell or pitch.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying that's how it's gonna sound.
Hattie. Hey, it's good to see you again.
So, am I gonna get to meet Nikolai Carpathia?
You're really serious, aren't you?
You know, I can't even explain it, Buck. I just really want to meet him.
I tell you what, let me call and see what his schedule is.
Okay.
No promises.
All right.
If nothing else, we can grab some lunch, okay?
Well, after I meet him, right?
Right.
You can go right back, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. You know, Hattie, he really only has a second, so we shouldn't stay long.
Buck, I know how to treat VIPs.
Oh, of course you do.
I mean, if you're embarrassed by me or something, then
No, it's not that at all. I just don't want to presume.
If you think I won't know how to act...
I'm sorry. I'm just surprised he okayed this, considering how busy he is.
Well, right now we're on his schedule, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess we are.
Buck, welcome.
Dr. Rosenzweig, this is Hattie Durham.
Wonderful to meet you. Buck, a moment, please.
Sure.
Mr. Carpathia wonders if you could join him alone first.
I'm sorry. I hope he's not upset. I know it's not protocol.
Please follow me.
Hattie, I'll be right back.
Come in. Buck, have you seen this business in Jerusalem?
Well, a little earlier when the two assassins were killed.
Strangest thing I have ever seen.
Well, not me.
No?
Well, I was in Tel Aviv when Russia attacked.
Yes. That would have been something akin to this. Heart attacks, they say.
I beg your pardon?
The attackers are dead of heart attacks.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. And the Uzi did not jam. It is in perfect working order. I wondered what you thought of my choice for press secretary.
Well, frankly, I was stunned.
I thought you might be surprised. Look at this. The preachers never touched either. What are the odds of that happening? Strange indeed. There is no question Plank can do the job, though. Do you agree?
Oh, of course. But you know you've crippled Global Weekly with this.
I have strengthened it. What better way to have the person I want at the top? This makes me feel just like Jonathan Stonegal maneuvering people into position.
Did you happen to hear about Eric Miller?
Oh, your friend from Seaboard Monthly. No, what about him?
Well, apparently he drowned last night.
You do not say. How dreadful.
Mr. Carpathia...
Buck, please, call me Nikolai.
Well, I'm not sure I'll be comfortable doing that. I'm sorry for bringing this girl in to meet you, and she's just a flight attendant.
Nobody is just anything. Everyone is of equal value, regardless of their station. Come, introduce me to your friend.
This is Hattie Durham. Hattie, President Nikolai Carpathia.
Hello, Mr. Carpathia.
Oh, it is a great pleasure to welcome such beauty.
Oh.
Please, sit down.
Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, Hattie.
Well, I'm a senior flight attendant with Pan-Continental Airlines.
Excuse me, Cameron, you have a telephone call.
Excuse me.
Oh, certainly. Tell me about your family.
Well, my mother is still...
Buck Williams.
Buck, I hope you'd be there. You just got a call from Carolyn Miller, Eric's wife.
Uh-huh.
She sounds pretty shook up.
Well, I can't call her from here, Marge.
Well, get back to her as soon as you get a minute.
Well, what's it about?
No idea, but she's desperate. You got something to write her number on?
Yeah. Yeah, hang on.
I am charmed.
Oh, Mr. Carpathia.
Thank you, Cameron, for introducing me to such a lovely friend. And Miss Durham, I hope our paths cross again.
It was really nice meeting you, and thank you for taking the time.
Some guy, huh?
He gave me his number.
His number?
Yeah, I'll bet you don't have business cards from any presidents. Or maybe you do.
Nikolai Carpathia, President of the Republic of Romania. Interesting. His address should be Bucharest. It says the Plaza Hotel, New York City.
You know what, Buck? I've got an idea. Let's get a bite to eat at the Pan-Con Club. I told this pilot I'd meet him at 1, and I really do not want to see him, but I think I will, just to brag about meeting Nikolai.
Oh, now it's Nikolai, is it? Trying to make someone jealous?
Oh, something like that.
Hattie, excuse me just a second. I need to make a call before we head back.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Oh, Mr. Williams. I appreciate your calling.
Oh, of course, ma'am. I'm sorry about your loss.
Mr. Williams, my husband called me last night before he said he was tracking a big story at the plaza and he ran into you.
True.
He said you two had a wrestling match over an interview with this Romanian guy.
Well, that's also true. I mean, it wasn't anything serious. It was just a disagreement.
That's how I took it. But that was the last conversation I'll ever have with him, and it's driving me crazy.
Ma'am?
Do you know how cold it was last night?
It was pretty nippy as I recall, but what does that have to...
It was very cold. Too cold to be standing outside on the ferry, wouldn't you think?
Well, yeah. I would have been inside.
And even if he was outside, Eric's a good swimmer.
What are you saying, Mrs. Miller?
I don't know. He fell off the ferry and drowned. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, Tech, this is Alex.
Hey, Alex, it's Buck Williams. What's up?
Not much. How you doing, Buck?
I'm all right. Hey, listen, can you do me a favor real fast? If I give you the number, you can still tell me who's listed, right?
As long as you don't tell anybody I'm the one doing it.
No. 212-555-7886.
Okay, hang on. Showing up in New York.
Uh-huh.
UN Administrative Offices, Wow, Secretary General's Office unlisted private line. Is that what you wanted?
Oh, yeah.
Something wrong?
No, just a mild kick in the head, that's all.
Hey, I just give info, I don't explain it. Call me if you need anything else.
All right, thanks, Alex. I owe you.
Yep.
Steve Plank.
Steve, your boy just made his first mistake.
What are you talking about?
Is your first job going to be announcing Carpathia as the new Secretary General? Steve?
Hey, Buck. Not bad as a reporter. How'd you land that little morsel?
Oh, Carpathia's new business card.
Look, Buck. The Kalahari Desert makes up much of Botswana, where Secretary General Gumho is from. He returns there tomorrow a hero, having become the first leader to gain access to the Israeli fertilizer formula.
Oh, and how exactly did he do that?
Stellar diplomacy, of course.
And he can't be expected to handle the duties of both the UN and Botswana during the strategic moment in Botswanan history, right?
And why should he when someone is so perfectly suited to step in, kiddo?
You're gonna be the perfect press secretary, Steve.
And you're gonna sit on this till tomorrow, you got it?
Promise. Well, one more thing.
If I can.
What did Eric Miller get too close to? Steve?
All I know is that Eric Miller got too close to the railing of the Staten Island ferry.
Rayford, it's not a problem. You're not bothering me. What's up?
It's all coming to a head here in New York, Bruce. I'm with Chloe, and we're waiting for Hattie to show up.
And you're wondering how much to say and not say, right?
I feel like a wimp. I don't want to push or badger either one of them, but I feel like I'm going to not offend my own daughter right into hell.
I went through a few days of that myself, worried what people would think of me, but putting it off just doesn't make sense anymore, does it?
Things are happening exactly the way the Bible said they would.
Say, have you been watching the two preachers this morning?
Yeah, now they keep rerunning the attack.
Rayford, get to a TV right now.
Huh?
See if this doesn't confirm everything we read about the two witnesses.
Well, Bruce,
Go, Rayford.
And what has ensued here at the Wailing Wall is getting harder to comprehend by the moment. The two preachers, Moishe and Eli, did not respond to the attack, but kept preaching. And what we're seeing now is that crowds have surged into the area in front of the Wailing Wall to listen. People are kneeling, weeping, some with their faces on the ground. These same people who earlier accused the preachers of desecrating the holy place. It now appears there is a movement to believe what the witnesses have been saying about Jesus Christ.
Power and with whatever I need to be a witness. Please, Lord, help me.
Well, I thought you weren't sure whether you wanted to see this pilot. All right, you should be okay double parked here for a few minutes.
Claro, no problem.
Well, now I do, okay? Call it revenge or whatever you want to.
And this is the captain from that flight where you and I met?
Yeah. Now hurry up. Go. Go get your computer bag or whatever it is up there you're going to get.
All right. Be right back.
Hey, Bucko, good timing. Boss wants to see us.
I got a cab waiting. What's up?
Eric Miller, I think. Come on. You know, Bailey wasn't thrilled at the short notice I gave him. He only agreed to it thinking that you'd jump at the promotion.
Come in.
Mr. Bailey, I have a cab
Both of
waiting.
you, get in here. I'll cut to the chase. I'm going to ask some pointed questions, and I want some quick answers. First, Plank. Rumors are flying that Wangati Ngumo is calling a press conference late this afternoon. They think he's stepping down as Secretary General.
Really?
Don't play dumb with me. Doesn't take a genius to figure this out. You forget I was in charge of the African Bureau way back when. Now, what's the connection?
Well, look, I'm not at liberty to talk about it.
Let me tell you something, Plank. I like you. I gave you a chance when others said you didn't have what it takes. I paid you 6 figures long before you deserved it. Nothing you say is going to go past these walls, so don't hold out on me. You brats think because I'm 2 or 3 years from the pasture, I don't still have my ear to the ground. Well, let me tell you, my phone's been ringing off the hook, and my gut says something big's coming down.
Who's been calling you, Stan?
I'll tell you. First, a guy who knows the VP of Romania. Word over there is he's prepared to run the day-to-day stuff indefinitely, which tells me Carpathia will be here a while. Then, people I know in Africa tell me Ngumo has some inside track on the Israeli formula, but he's quietly not happy about stepping down from the UN. Then, Ralph Casher at Seaboard Monthly calls. Says Buck and this Miller guy who's dead were working the same story. Then he says, which river do you suppose Buck is going to be found floating in?
Well, what angle was Miller taking?
The meaning behind the disappearances. Have any idea why that might paint Carpathia in a dark light?
No, I don't. I wouldn't have thought he'd link Carpathia with the disappearances.
I'll tell you the truth. When I first took the call from Casher, I figured he was getting a reference on you, Cameron. Let's just get that stuff out of the way before I grill Plank, shall we?
Well, what stuff?
You looking to leave?
I'm not.
You taking the promotion?
I am.
Good. Now, Steve, what else is Carpathia going to push for?
Well, he wants a new security council set up, which will include some of his own ambassadors.
Really?
And?
Well, he wants Ngumo personally to insist on him as a replacement, along with 2 other things. Militarily, he wants disarmament. The destruction of 90% of all nuclear weapons and the donation of the other 10% to the UN.
For peacekeeping purposes. Naive, but logical. He probably won't get that. What else?
Well, it's the least likely. The logistics alone are incredible. And
What? What?
He wants to move the UN.
What?
I know. Guys, this sounds stupid.
Move it? Where?
He wants to move it to Babylon.
You're kidding. You're not serious.
Well, he is.
Well, they've been renovating that city for years. Millions of dollars.
Billions.
All right,
billions
billions invested
right.
in making it what? The new Babylon?
He's meeting right now with the heads of all these international groups in town.
Well, what does he want with them?
Well, he's asking for a 7-year peace treaty with Israel in exchange for the desert fertilizer formula. The whole thing will be set in motion with a move to New Babylon and the establishment of one religion for the world, the whole world. Probably headquartered in Italy.
Well, he's not going to get far with the Jews on that one.
They're an exception. He's going to help them rebuild their temple during the years of the peace treaty.
The man's brilliant.
You're right.
I've never seen anyone who moves so quickly.
Wait. Aren't either of you the least bit skeptical about this guy? Looks to me like people who get too close wind up dead.
Skeptical? I find him refreshing.
Yeah, well, what about Eric Miller?
I think you're making too much of that. Maybe he did get too close to the railing. His run-in with you and Carpathia could have been a coincidence. Anyway, Carpathia didn't know what Miller was after, did he?
Well, not that I know of. Steve?
Yeah, Marge.
Buck has an urgent message from a Hattie Durham.
Oh,
so she can't wait any longer.
Marge, apologize all over for me. Tell her, well, I'll either call her or catch up with her later.
Nice, Buck. I'll take care of it.
Is this what I can expect from you on work time, Cameron?
No, it's a lead on the disappearances story. She's introducing me to an airline captain.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I have the backup files.
Good. Mrs. Miller, I appreciate you doing this. I know this must be extremely hard for you, but could you look up the last few stories your husband filed?
Sure. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, what am I looking for?
I guess we're looking for the last few stories he filed. Check the date, or see if you can find any notes he may have kept, or...
Okay.
Is there anything?
Yeah, there are tons of stories here.
Could you read a few off to me? Starting with the latest date.
Disappearances, Common Market, Mideast Embargo, Stonegal Plan, United Nations...
Wait. Go back. Call it the Stonegal Plan.
Okay. All right. You want me to read the whole thing?
Well, what's the headline say?
Looks like a series. It says... New Babylon, Stonegal's latest dream. Jonathan Stonegal backs the rebuilding of ancient city.
Well, do you see any notes at the end or in another file?
Well, there's a file just listed as Stonegal.
Can you open that for me?
Okay. Well, there's a bunch of banks listed. A page full of names. I see Todd Cothran, Carpathia.
Really? Mrs. Miller...
I'm sorry, but what could a man building a city in the desert have to do with my husband's death?
Mrs. Miller, I want to make a suggestion. Is there someplace you could go tonight? Somewhere you feel is safe?
Safe? From what?
Do you have somewhere to go?
I could go
Don't tell me on the phone. Just go there.
But I...
Go there now.
Left Behind, the dramatic audio edition, is based on the book by Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins and has been adapted for radio by Chris Fabry with music by Steve Wick. Directed and produced by Todd Bastide. The dramatic audio edition of Left Behind is a production of Gap Digital and Tyndale House Publishers. Thank you for listening.